You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Monday the 25th of August, 2025. It is 66 days after the summer solstice. It is 28 days before the fall equinox. By the French Republican calendar, it is the 8th day of Fructidor, the day of the Apocin, the Apocinum. The sun rises today at 6:16 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:58 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:39 p.m. Civil twilight ends at 8:07 p.m. and nautical twilight ends at 8:41 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes, 31 seconds shorter than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing crescent phase and is 6% full at midday. The first quarter will arrive on Sunday, the 31st of August. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the middle of the night, high tide, 12:06 a.m., 1 meter 58. In the morning, low tide, 6:05 a.m., 12 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 12:32 p.m., 1 meter 62. In the evening, low tide, 6:28 p.m., 18 centimeters. This is the Monday Reservoir Report for New York City. The Delaware watershed, Cannonsville, 76% full. Papacton, 85%. Neversink, 86%. Rondout, 94%. The Catskill watershed, Schoharie, 41%. Ashokan, 87%. The Croton system, 98% full. The reservoirs remain just slightly fuller than the average for this time of year. In our shared realm of plants and animals, 2 weeks ago we noted that the cones of the eastern white pines had turned brown. Last week they opened and released their pine nuts, and now, one by one, they have begun falling to the ground. This beautifully synchronized and timed display marks the approaching end of summer and the beginning of autumn. And with the number of cones dropped to the ground, there is a large supply of material to begin gathering to make autumn wreaths to celebrate the turning of the season. Commemorations. Great feats. On this day in 1875, Captain Matthew Webb completed the first documented unassisted swim across the English Channel. It was his second attempt to swim the channel. Fortified by a breakfast of bacon and eggs with claret wine, he dove from Admiralty Pier in the port of Dover, just after noon on the 24th. He was wearing a bright red swimming costume. He was accompanied on his swim by a small boat, the Anne, which carried a gaggle of reporters. 2 smaller rowing boats also followed him, filled with members of his support team. He used the breaststroke for his swim. At intervals he paused mid-swim to be fed cod liver oil, beef tea, brandy, coffee, and ale. He landed near Calais at 10:41 a.m. on the 25th of August, after almost 22 hours in the water. Matthew Webb died 7 years later at the age of 35, when he failed an attempt to swim the Niagara Rapids just below the famous falls. On this day in 1916, President Woodrow Wilson signed the National Park Service Organic Act, bringing the Park Service into being. It replaced a hodgepodge of agencies caring for our national parks and monuments. It was tasked from the start with preserving these natural reserves and opening them to visitors in a way that would allow them to be enjoyed by future generations. Let us celebrate this great national institution and the lands it conserves. On this day in 1925, the Brotherhood of Sleeping Car Porters was organized in Harlem, New York. It was the first black-led labor union to receive a charter in the American Federation of Labor. Under the leadership of A. Philip Randolph, its founder and first president, Milton Webster, and C. L. Dellums, it became one of the most important vehicles of black empowerment in its era. Because the black porters were employed by interstate railroads and not by local economic interests, they had much greater freedom to advocate for equality and desegregation than others did. Finally, today is the anniversary of the liberation of Paris from German occupation in 1944, ending 4 long years under the heel of the Wehrmacht. Hitler famously asked his generals, "Brennt Paris? Is Paris burning?" He would have preferred to destroy the city rather than hand it back. Luckily, the answer was no. Paris was not burning. The French tricolor was hoisted on this day atop the Eiffel Tower. And that is the Observatory, Monday the 25th of August, 2025.